Hello and welcome to today's tutorial, Turbocharge Your Marketing with ChatGPT. I'm looking forward to sharing with you some of the things I've learned over the last few weeks with regards to how to use this tool that changes so quickly to be your basically personal assistant in running your own small business. Now, I'm also a small business owner, and one of the things that I struggle with is, how do you keep all the balls up in the air, right? You wear a lot of hats. And I'm always looking for ways that I can use technology to help me do better, to help me do more things as well with regards to running the business. And in this particular case, what I'd like to share with you today is some experiences that I've had with regards to using a specific tool, ChatGPT, to help me in creating better content for my business, my social profiles, my business profiles, and as well my marketing. So what I'm done today is put together this tutorial that's going to walk us through how to use this tool to help you with your marketing. And the 5 things that we're going to be covering today. The first is an important place to start because it's your home online. It's your Google business profile. I'm going to ask chat to help us create that. Then we're going to take a look at the Google search ads because, of course, at some point you're going to be doing search advertising, online advertising, and it's going to suggest to you some ways to use it to create ads as well as keywords. Your Facebook page as well is a good place to ask chat to help you in. Content, advertising, and I've even broadened this out today to have a look at targeting, suggest some audiences that you can take a look at, how to use chat to help you do that. And then email marketing. We don't talk about email marketing so much anymore because it looks a little old school, but it is a very excellent way to communicate with an audience, especially when you have events and other special things that are going on, seasonal activities going on in your business. Speaking of that, events. I've asked chat to give me and to give you an example of what this looks like when you prompt it to give you some information. But let's do a quick thing first to figure out exactly what chat is, and I'll just do that real quickly, okay? It's an artificial intelligence chatbot. It uses natural language, so it's like talking to another human, which can be a little off-putting some mornings, I'll tell you, when it responds back and I'm thanking it. But it is a very effective way to communicate using natural language. And it can be used for a number of things. In this particular case, I'm going to be focusing on marketing it. It can be an alternative rather to traditional advertising, but in this case, we're going to focus on things that it can do to create content for you. Social media, newsletters, and in this case, marketing copy, web copy, and even in a very specific case within this, sales copy for an email marketing campaign. Now, how we're going to do that today is I'm actually going to go live. I'm going to take you into my chat profile, and you're going to see all the glitches if there are any today with regards to how this little beast works, okay? So I've created this chat within the paid level of ChatGPT. Now, you can use the basic one. I've done that. In this case, I am going to recommend that you step up at least one level to the paid. I think it runs about $25 a month. But what it does is it gives you a bit more customization, and it goes a little bit deeper into the kind of responses that it's going to give you back, okay? So starting point, and I don't mean this to be a tutorial for how to set up ChatGPT. If you want to do that, it's actually pretty straightforward. What I want to show you is once you're in it, the very first thing you do is you create a project, and then you come over here and you give that project some information. You set up these instructions, if you will. This is going to be the heart of what you use it and how it responds back to you, okay? So in this case, I've created a fictitious business in Bloor West Village. It specializes in artisanal bread, and they use only the finest ingredients sourced from companies and producers within 100 miles. Now, while they don't produce gluten-free specifically, because that is a topic, they do focus on using the highest quality additive-free ingredients. That's the basic setup for the profile of this business. And with that, you're now going to give it some prompts. Now, as I mentioned, the very first one is the Google Business Profile. So I've already written some copy, and I'm going to sit here with that copy and pop it into the chat, and we'll see what comes back. So what I've said is, using the information in the instructions, please write a 300-word character description optimized for my Google Business Profile that emphasizes the local ingredients and the daily specials. You press the arrow and it goes to work. What should happen next relatively quickly, and this is the latest iteration, by the way, it's the one that says it's thinking and it's modifying and it's editing and it's putting together all the little bits and pieces it needs to do behind the scenes to come back and give you a response. Thinking, thinking, thinking. I love this part of it. Sometimes it does take a little while to get started, right? It wants to give you the best response back. That's how it really works. What I do like about what it's doing now versus what it was doing only about a week ago is that it is taking the time. Okay, so it's sacrificing time. It used to be super fast. It's sacrificing the time to try and get you a better quality. Now, chat isn't perfect, obviously. But when you get the responses back, you've really got to take a look at it to make sure it works for you. For today's purposes, I'm going to take the information and then walk it through. If you're watching the screen, by the way, it's almost doing what you would do as a personal assistant. And that is a way to look at this. This is your personal virtual assistant that you pay $25 a month for. Patience at this level, especially at this first prompt, is something that you've just got to get used to. Now, I think what we're running probably the last time I did this, about a minute and a half, give or take. So, it does look a little long, but again, be patient. Use the time to be doing something else. No, I'm kidding. No multitasking, right? You got to stay on track with what you're doing. One thing that I do with chat as well is I do use the word please and thank you. And I know that sounds bizarre, right? You're talking to a machine. But I find that that's my style. So rather than barking orders, what I want to do is to treat it as if it really is a person. And as you can appreciate, some of my associates and people I work with, they say that is just crazy. But I certainly want to talk to it as if I would talk to you. So here we go. It is coming. It is processing. At this point, if I had balls, I'd throw them up in the air and we do a little bit of juggling, right? Please, at this stage as well, don't hit refresh. It will crash out this session and then come back in and you have to start all over again. So again, as I mentioned, it is taking its time because it does want to be as close to accurate as possible for the description that you've plugged in. Okay. And here we go. A little bit of patience here. So what it says is, this is the description for what you'd use in your Google My Business profile. Stop by our Bloor West Village Bakery for artisanal breads made fresh daily with the finest local ingredients, sourced within 100 miles. We never use additives, ensuring pure, exceptional taste. Discover new flavors every day with our rotating daily special. Stop by soon, sharing the passion with you. Now, it's not 100% perfect, right? But what it's done is it's got a lot of keywords in here that are really driven by that localized game that Google wants to play. The location, what you are, the breads, the fresh. It's trying to talk without being floral. And I think that's a good thing in this case. So what I do now is I just type back in, I say thank you. And I'll say, oh, let's just say we like it. Not great, but we do like it. And chat will come back and say what it says. And that's the eerie part of it, right? I'm glad you like it. Please feel free to let me know anything else you want to do. And now, of course, I have another prompt in here. What I want to do now for my Google profile is create some frequently asked questions. Again, it's going to be driven by the original instructions that you put in and this first response. So this should get a little faster. Let's type in the prompt, generate a list of common customer questions about a small bakery, the products and services, along with short, polite, keyword-rich answers. I'm prompting it to give back as much detail as specifics as I possibly can. And I really do recommend you do that. The more specific that you can get with the brief, basically, you're giving your assistant, the better you're going to get the results back. And you can see now it starts to pop them out a lot faster, right? It's done some learning behind the scenes. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but it comes back and says, here's a concise list of common customer questions with how you would respond to those questions. You bake everything daily on site. Well, if you do as this local bakery does, yes. And it answers in a very conversational tone based on the tonality brief that I gave it. Where do you source your ingredients? Proud to partner with farmers and suppliers. Well, you may not, in fact, partner with farms, so you might have to edit that. It's not 100% perfect, right? But you briefed it. Gluten-free offerings is a question people ask often. Currently on traditional, handcrafted. You see the words start to pop up here now that are key words because you asked it to do that. And it goes all the way through to give you 10 of these. Again, you would say, if you like them, thank you. If you think you need some improvements, you can actually ask it to tweak them. And again, be as specific as you possibly can. We're not going to do that example today, just in interest of time. So I'll say thank you. Let's just say we really like these. Sure, let's get a little bit more personal with them. We're going to create some advertising now. Let's go and look at ad copy creation within Google. That was our second topic today. I've got a text copy that I've put in, and we'll just plug that. You can type this in, right? But I'm just showing it a little bit quickly now. Create 3 variations of Google ad headlines, maximum 30 characters. And then I also want descriptions, maximum 90 characters for a local bakery that's promoting this daily fresh bread. And I want to see some ideas for now to April. I want to get into the spring. I'm thinking Easter already, right? I'm a bakery. I'm thinking Easter already. Let's see what chat gives us back. Again, it's going to move a little bit more quickly now because it's got some learning under its belt, right? It kind of says, oh, okay, person likes what I'm doing, likes the responses coming back. Therefore, I'm going to continue on with giving copy down this particular, giving text down within this particular context. Again, it's been thinking a week and a half ago, it wasn't doing this. It was just spitting back out the information. And if you've done any reading at all about what's going on in the chat world, people who own this particular tool have been tweaking their entire operating system, basically. I guess that's the best way to decide it. Counting characters is checking everything. You've asked it to do a little bit of work, so it wants to come back and give you as best as possible. And again, I caution, please make sure you check everything when you get it back, because it's never 100% perfect. It will give you, potentially some things that that you're not going to be able to use. But again, this, for example purposes, should give you an illustration of how to use it. That's more than anything what I want to show you today is how to use this, as well as you possibly can. Not quite sure what compliance means. I'll have to go and Google that to find out what it's trying to do. But here we go. It's given back now 3 variations. It's told you what it's done. The character limits, you've been very specific. Highlight the daily fresh, local ingredients, and the time frame. Now, recognize that Google will do this for you when you do Google search ads, but I think it's always good business practice for yourself to get a sense of what the search is going to try and do for you. So I certainly recommend doing this. If you don't use all these, at least you've got some keywords, some ideas behind it. And it's got some ideas here. Warm up with fresh bread, 90 characters, enjoy daily from January specials, local. There's another alternative, daily fresh, locally sourced. Punchy little headlines that, yes, you could write yourself. However, you have an assistant who's doing that for you, right? And then maximum headline here. Okay, so what we need to do next is jump into And I'm just for interest today, I'm going to look at let's look at the Facebook. I think that's probably the most important one out of all of this. Let me take a look at the Facebook, and then we're going to cut it off. I want to jump into showing you what it looks like now. Now, I didn't hit thank you, right? So let's see if my AI assistant is going to work for me today. So I've suggested some Facebook audience targeting options. And because that's kind of important to understand how you can use Facebook a little bit more effectively. So what it's done is it said, here are some suggested Facebook audience targeting options. Local targeting, go to the immediate area. That's a gimme, right? You know that one. People living in or recently in this area to ensure both residents and frequent visitors see your ads. Some of this you get from Facebook. Age, we didn't tell it age. It's suggesting a specific age level. Or disposable income. Some of that's, you kind of automatically understand that. Parents, you can further narrow down the targeting. So that's very important to consider, targeting your audience. And then household income. If some of the ingredients are expensive, you are going to be thinking of a higher income level. However, there are people who will sacrifice other things in their budgets to get high quality bakery goods, right? So that's also a good one as well to think about. Interest targeting, food and dining, local cuisine, and then behavioral. And the one that I love the most really in all of this is this lookalike audience. As you're in your Facebook world, that's what you're going to be thinking through. You're going to be thinking about audiences that look like yours that you can broaden. Love this one. Exclusion audiences. Exclude people who are low intent, because what you're doing now is maximizing the effectiveness of your dollar. Now, we're not specifically a training about how to use Google Ads here, but that's kind of what you start to think about. I'm going to try one more because I think it's also a good excuse. Let's thank it. Let's go back in here and say, hey, thank you. This time we'll say something like appreciate it. Let's see how I didn't even spell that properly. Let's see what happens. You're very welcome. Isn't that lovely? A machine's talking back to me. Oh boy, that's made my day. Let's now take a peek at an event. Let's just take a look at what the event would look like. And what I'm thinking now of is a bread baking workshop. Try saying that quickly. It's hosted by the bakery. I want to include a date, location, and highlights of the workshop and how to sign up for it. Now, I'll be using this text to create an in-store poster, an image for my social media, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, as well as emails to existing customer base. So I'm giving it a lot of information here. So let's see how quickly it feeds back to me copy. There are ways that you can ask it to generate images. You tie into things like Canva. There are AI models built in behind that. There's a next level up in chat that also allows you to generate images directly from this particular platform. However, for this purpose, again, today, I'm going to show what this looks like. So for the bread baking workshop, it suggested a date. Again, you didn't give it a date, but it's suggesting one. It's March after the winter. It's closing in on Easter. It's a hands-on bread baking workshop where you learn the craft. This is not anything that someone hasn't thought about before, but now it's giving you some key words in here that you can use. And I think that's important to understand. You're using an assistant to help you create content for your marketing that's faster, right? The highlights, time-tested, needing and shaping methods, the importance of high quality, personalized guidance, that's important, one-on-one, fun, interactive. How are you going to do it? You can do it at the counter when you go to the store. You can call in or visit. Well, you might not do all that. You might have a form on your website, and you ask people to sign up, register on the website, right? So that's a good way to do it. So what we need to do next is what? Create an email. So let's thank it again. This time I'm going to get super personal, right? Love it. Let's get excited. Let's see if chat comes back. Glad you like it. If you need more assistance, and you can keep tweaking this and fine tuning this. So I need two things. I need you to write me some email, subject line, and 150 word, keeping it tight, very friendly email invitation to customers for that bread baking workshop. Subject lines are very important, and you're down to some very limited character counts, especially as a lot of people do look at their smartphones first. Maybe they transition up to a website off of a desktop next, but the very first thing you got to do is have a subject line that is going to work on the handheld. Early bird savings, you got some energy driving here, some encouragement for getting people to do something. Join the workshop. And we're excited to invite you to our upcoming bread baking workshop on Saturday, March 15th. And it's got some times in here. It's going to recommend some things to you, right? So it's helping you along the way. And then it goes into all of that. Sign up by. There's that early bird. You didn't ask it to do that, but it's going into its databases and saying, hey, this is how people who are in a similar type of industry, similar, small business, this is how they do things. And I think that's very important to understand, that this tool, the artificial intelligence behind it, is going to help you. And do we have time for one more? Do you want to see? Let's see if there's anything else I'd like to. Let's try this one. Again, thanking it. I'll just say one more thing. I'm being greedy today. I'm going to ask it to write, let's do a Facebook About Us section. And just pop the copy in here. We'll end on this one today. I've given the kudos back to the machine. I've talked to the silicone. I've asked it to write a little bit of a description for your Facebook page. Welcome to, located in the heart of. These are now going to be keyword driven so that your Facebook page is working to support everything else that you have briefed into it. I can't emphasize that enough. You started with an original brief. And what I found is, in the old days, when I would try and do different things, I'd lose track of where I was. And some of the socials that I would do and places that I'd list and talk about my business would be slightly different. Using AI like this allows you to be consistent across the board because it's learning and picking up everything you've done before. So hopefully that helps. You've created a chat here. This saves. I recommend copying and pasting all of this and taking it out and putting it in some other document. But that basically is how you would use ChatGPT to help you in your business. And we'll wrap up today with just a couple of quick asks. Let me just see where we are. Yeah, we looked at Google Business Profile, took a quick look into the search ads, some keywords, the Facebook, email, as well as events. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here today. What I'd ask you to do for me, if you can, is grab that QR code at the top here. It's a survey, gives me some feedback. If you have the opportunity and you feel so inclined, take a look at Google review for me as well. That link will take you from the QR code right to my business page, the Google My Business page for reviews. Super important for every business online. And then if you're interested in diving more deeply into some performance skills for all of us, but specifically for us in small business, I've got a bundled course that is available via the third QR code at the bottom. So again, thank you very much for joining me today. We'll wrap up and we'll see you again soon.